In yesterday's video I made a handle for this leg vise here. So today, if you haven't seen that video first, go watch that one. But today I'm going to be finishing up this vise hopefully. I don't know, we'll see what I get done. I've got a spring to make and also the bit where it bolts down onto the table. I've got to somehow attach that, so I'm going to have a look at some other vices to see how they're attached, and yeah, we'll go from there. I think the first point of order is to take a wire brush angle grinder attachment and just clean it up because it's very rusty. So I'll do that now and then we'll get to working on, I don't know, the spring probably or something else. Anyway, let's get on it. I think first I'm actually going to take it apart and then it'll be a bit easier to wire brush up, I think. I'm going to try and undo this. I have no idea if it'll come. It's actually in good nick, that thread. Right, I'll see. I think I'm going to have to drive it out. So I got that piece out of there. It was actually pretty easy. I'm going to see if we can get this jaw out. There we go. So now I will clean it all up. Thank you, fair. I've got all the pieces of the vise wire brushed up. It's actually really interesting. I mean, I'm probably sort of nerding out a bit on it, but like this here, you can see, not that one. This, you can see the actual lines here where they forge welded this together. And then even there, you can see where the rivet's been passed through there to rivet it, and then it's been forge welded, which is really cool. There's all sorts of other stuff on this, like this piece here. I think these flanges on the side here are actually copper and they're brazed on, and also these rings might be as well. I can't really tell. It also doesn't show up very well on that. But they're a bit, you know, they're copper coloured, and it might even be the whole thing, I can't really tell. Anyway, really interesting. So I'm gonna put all this together now, assemble it all back up, and see how I am then going to attach the spring on, and then this piece as well. This is the vise that we're working on at the moment, and I've wire brushed that up, put it all back together, and then this one is one which is broken, doesn't work, but I'm looking at this sort of connection here, and so there's this piece, I don't know if you can see it there, which wraps around and has a slot through and then has wedges in there holding, hang on, this piece on, which is, they're actually exactly the same, although this one's bigger, and this one is off this vise. So that's going on there. We're going to have to forge a piece which comes round, so wedges can then be driven through that slot holding it on, and the spring also goes into that section as well, and then it's just held loosely at the bottom there, well not loosely, but wrapped around the bottom there. So we need to forge a spring and then this piece and then some wedges and then put it all together. This is just a piece of spring steel, just a coiled spring that I flattened out into this rectangular bar, which we can then use to make the spring from. I'll probably heat treat it as well, and then bring it to about a blue, I think, temper for a spring. The spring now fits, which is great. I'm gonna heat treat it now, so I will normalize it probably 3 times, heating it up to a red, letting it air cool, and then heat it up to sort of an orange and quench in oil. After that, I'll temper it to round about a blue, probably. Here's the material that I'm going to use for the collar. So it's 30 by 5. I would have liked something a bit bigger, but it's a little bit less than the width of the bolt-on piece. I don't know what the hell you call this, but that's better than it being over, because if it's over then this will get in the way, you know. I marked this with some centre punches, no idea if you can see them, but I'll now go ahead and punch in this slot so that we can then drive some wedges in it to hold this piece on, I think. First slot is forged out. I've been using this little drift to go in there and then hammer these sides down to get it all, you know, these two sides parallel. So now I need to do some maths and work out where the second slot is to go. I've put the first bend into this piece now, and I've marked out where the second slot needs to go. So hopefully I've done my maths right. Let's see. So, it's been quite a while since I've done anything on this video. As you can see, I've had my haircut. My mother did it, lockdown haircut. Not too bad really. But anyway, I finished up that collar piece. I heat treated the spring, that's all done. I made these 2 little pins, assembled it all together, well, waxed it, oiled it all, sorry. Hot oiled it all. It's got a nice finish. I don't really like painting vices. I see a lot of people do paint vices, but I always find an anvils and things, but I always find, you know, you'll touch them with a hot piece of metal and then it will give off these horrible fumes. So I just like to oil them, and then just to keep up that finish every so often just re-oil them, you know, and they're fine really. But yeah, that's it. It's a nice vise. I need to make a stand for it at some point, and I want to put an upsetting block on the bottom of the stand, because I'm always upsetting on an anvil with my hand really high in the air, so I want one on the bottom of this anvil stand. I don't know when I'm going to do that. I'll probably do a bit of a video on it at some point just to show you the properly finished vise with it bolted down on a new stand. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. I will show you some close-ups of the vise so you can admire it in all its beauty and glory. and I hope to see you on the next video. Goodbye.